when the FBI goes and gets a warrant to search anybody's house for specific things, they have already made the case to a judge that has satisfied that judge that these documents are owned by the U.S. government, that there are documents that he shouldn't have, sufficiently in which to go forward with the investigation. Obviously, he can't be convicted at that point, but that's what if they bring charges on it, that's where he makes these arguments. She is trying to sort of like ostensibly address these things to inhibit the investigation as opposed to be exculpatory for him. And it is incredibly corrupt. And she's being mocked wildly by those in the legal profession. But I mean, it's quite obvious what's going on. But here is Donald Trump on the Hugh Hewitt podcast. Again, we've seen this before, sort of threatening, I guess, society if he is held to account.
You know the old saying, prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich if they want to. I'm just asking if there is such a prosecutor.
That's not the saying. Saying is a grand jury could indict a ham sandwich. He's and I'm sure we could go back and find Hugh Hewitt talk about how prosecutors who just indict for no reason whatsoever. I'm sure that happens. But and particularly in cases this sensitive, right? Like this is not, a situation where there's some type of like politically marginalized person that the prosecutor is trying to make hay out of.
Right.
Yeah.
But go
it's
back.
like, we need Chesa Boudin then to be the prosecutor.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what Larry Krasner would do with this. All right.
You know the old saying, prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich if they want to. I'm just asking if there is such a prosecutor and they indict you, would that deter you from running for president again?
I don't think the people of the United States would stand for it. And as you know, if a thing like that happened, I would have no prohibition against running. You know that. You've already.
I do. And that's what I want people to understand. That would not take you out of the arena.
It would not. But I think if it happened, I think you'd have problems in this country, the likes of which perhaps we've never seen before. I don't think the people of the United States would stand for it.
What kind of problems, Mr. President?
I think they'd have big problems. Big problems. I just don't think they'd stand for it.
Problems.
They will not sit still and stand for this ultimate of hoaxes.
Big problems. Big problems.
Yeah, you might have do you care to clarify? Big.
Gen
big.
6?
Big. Bigger than that.
Let's say, bread boxes, bigger than a bread box.
Ooh.
Kudos for Hugh Hewitt trying to get his I think we've played 2 clips of Hugh Hewitt over the past week and a half, and it's the first time I thought he had passed away. And so this is good for him. But and I think he's right. I mean, look, it is difficult to indict a former president. I don't know that we've ever had that happen in this country. Certainly not in the past 100 years. Matt, have we ever had that happen?
I can't think of any time that happened.
And so, that would be, I would imagine it's going to be somewhat problematic. But, here's the point. And I'll bring this up with Heather when we talk about this ruling, because it really is a problem where you have a judge who just is making stuff up, literally just making stuff up.
And what Trump's trying to do here, right, is like we saw some people say, well, this could be very divisive if this is pursued, and so he's trying to create a culture of fear about what happens if he is indicted. And so he's trying to manipulate the public perception around this through the press to get people freaked out that his supporters are going to kill people, and there's going to be real consequences for anybody that stands in his way if this actually happens.
Yeah, if we're playing a game of chicken, just know my foot is on the gas, okay?
But the thing is, he's said this in the past with with impeachment. I mean, this is not the first time he's issued this type of threat.
No, this is how we got Jan 6th.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. And this time he's not going to be allowed anywhere near the Capitol. So I don't think it's going to be the same type of problem. But it's going to be interesting to see if when he does get indicted, and what happens if they indict him in Georgia? What are they going to do? They're going to rush the Georgian Capitol? I mean, that'll be interesting.
And I don't know what they'll do, but it is scary that he has no qualms about stoking that. I mean, and we know that that's who he is, but yeah, I guess we'll see, as we say.